delivery part. And, and they are continuously in touch with the clinician team also, because the appointments have to be booked in that coordination. The the booking of the various investigations has to be coordinated between the two parties, and therefore all these activities become the core area. I have also seen a lot of hospitality management people. They joined the hospital administration. One of our leading group of providers in India used to be Columbia Asia, where I used to be vice president. My CEO was erstwhile GM of the Oberoi Hotels. He came from hotel background, and he did fantastically well in terms of taking the facilities forward purely through an excellence in service delivery in all quarters. So therefore, this is one portion where people with varied experience have also joined, but the hospital administration qualified bachelors have an edge of knowing the nitty-gritties and technicalities of a hospital, and they can really access and excel and take their career forward through this line. The next one is marketing and sales. I I'll take a little extra time here. In terms of marketing of hospital, we do not find that it is like a commodity when we sell an FMCG product or a toothpaste or a powder or a soap or a shampoo. It is slightly different. There are lots of ethical considerations revolving around the marketing efforts of hospital or healthcare products or healthcare services. And at the same time, we are basically selling people to come and get their diseases treated. So it has to be done in a subtle way, with empathy, with lots of ethics, with a lot of moral values. But at the same time, the fundamental principles of marketing, they continue to apply here also. If you have to make a visual, you make a visual in a manner, or if you want to make a hoarding, or you want to send WhatsApp messages, or you want to put a Facebook page on your services, how you have to do it is something which is very, very essential to understand. And only an administration person who has been working in hospital would be able to make a dent into the system by not copying what a toothpaste seller will do, but doing something novel and using a similar principles of marketing and channels of marketing. So marketing is something which is about giving healthcare benefits to people, giving health advisory to people, asking people to understand their early signs and symptoms, and promoting them to seek healthcare and advice at the right stage and the right mind so that people get the benefit. This is one way of subtle and surrogate marketing. The second way of marketing is advertising the facilities and technology which you are likely to offer, which has an edge over any other contemporary technology available locally. That is the second way. Third is the doctors, they reach out to the communities, provide services, do outpatients in community areas through resident welfare association, through religious or ethnic groups, where the people can actually look, feel, and have an experience with the doctor. And those who feel like that, yes, he is the guy who is going to take away my pain, then they can walk into the hospital and avail the services. So there are many ways by which marketing in healthcare is done, which is definitely fundamental principles remain the same, but the marketing communication has to be very different as against what we see in FMCG products. The another way is the corporate and institutional sales, where the hospital administration people can build up relationship with groups, with institutions, with corporate, with public sector companies, where they can buy the services at a reduced price from the hospital and become our institutional clients. Third is insurance sector, where the patients can be diverted through the insurance schemes when people buy health insurance. It is also a sunrise and imaging sector, where most countries the insurance penetration is gradually increasing. Last is direct to customers. Direct to customers is when we go to the community directly, address them, speak to them, and tell them about our facility. That is direct to customer. And last is the channel sales, where we have aggregate providers. This is more relevant in terms of the medical tourism providers, where people are aggregators and they are tour facilitators who will organize the care in a different hospital and make a seamless journey for the patients who want to seek a specialized treatment in another hospital. So these are called channel sales. All these segments are again very important because without efficient marketing and communication to the community, hospitals will never get properly subscribed by a required number of patients. And therefore, I have also seen in my career of last 40 years, lots of marketing and sales people who joined hospital, they have ended up becoming CEOs either of a hospital or even a network of a hospital. So this is again a very good career path. People who have the ability to have some creativity and some sales pitch in their mind, they should choose this. IT has become a big enabler in healthcare. We have the hospital information system, laboratory information system, radiology information system, building management system. These are the common four systems which are in the hospital. And then we have applications. In my previous organization, we designed many apps. Suppose we want to do a community-based screening. So we have apps where the person can take his tab and directly record the things in the app. People have got apps where they can directly get their download their reports, they can seek appointment, they can even book a teleconsultation, and they can even book medicines also in my country now, because that is also acceptable as long as there is a valid prescription. So these applications and app development is actually revolutionizing in the health sector, and every day something new is happening. Similarly, no hospital information system, no laboratory information system is complete because it has to be compatible with the various machinery. The HIS has to speak to the CT scan machine, MRI machine, USG machine. Then only the reports could be directly seen, visualized, and downloaded. So therefore, those hospital administration graduates who are little IT savvy, they should look at this area as an IT champion in the hospital, helping out the core IT guys in terms of making the IT user friendly, user friendly, enabling people to exploit the potentials of IT to the maximum, and then making sure that the program is implemented in a manner that the hospital finally becomes paperless. Mind you, this cannot be done by IT people. This has to be done by the administration. IT people have to simply implement it. So therefore, this is one area which one can look at as an IT champion in the hospital. And in future, the same IT people can also join software companies helping people to design newer and novel products for hospital and health sector in the software development field. Management information system, electronic medical records, electronic feedback are some of the new innovations which have come in the IT segment in the hospital. And even smaller hospitals are now buying in for that because it makes the system more robust and more accountable. And all these implementation, all the inputs have to be provided by hospital administration. Then we come to finance management. I do not see that the finance controller's role can be adapted by a hospital administration bachelor, but I definitely see that the inputs to the finance team has to be provided by administration. The costing of services. Suppose you are doing a CBC, a complete blood count, by a particular machine or a reagent. We have to be very sure that what is the cost of the machine, what is the annual maintenance contract cost, what is the staff cost, what is the power consumption, and what is the cost of the reagent and consumables used. All these combined together, we come to a cost per test we call CPTs. And based on the CPT, we decide the service pricing. There are times when we find that there are much better and cheaper reagents available. Sometimes we also find that instead of investing on a machine, it is better that we take a reagent rental, that we don't buy a machine. The company puts the machine in the laboratory and you only give him the cost of the reagent. On each reagent pack, he charges a premium, but at least you are safe from not paying the AMC, not taking repair maintenance liabilities, and many a times along with the machine, they also give manpower. So those kind of make or buy decisions have to be done by the hospital administration. That is where I'm talking about finance management. I'm not talking about churning out the Excel sheets in finance. For that, there would be a finance trained guy who will do. But you will have to give him the data and the inputs and the analytics to come to the conclusion what you want to do. And similarly, in the service pricing, we should be able to do the service pricing smartly. In some cases, you may lose because that is an investment for a bigger gain. In some cases, you may not lose. Even in the government, I am not only talking about private, there are token charges. there are some utility charges. How much that charge should be based on the community's aspiration and expectation, and how will you cost your requirement? Based on that, you will be able to make the performance-based budgetary system, and that is how you will efficiently use the funds which has been allocated by the government. Therefore, in both the cases, finance management and a cost control mechanism becomes extremely essential role for a hospital administration. Those who are keen with the numbers, those who have knack with the numbers, those who want to make a difference in the system in terms of the output areas, I think this is one of the areas which they should excel and they should find ways. This is again, I know there are two CEOs from Fortis who came up from the finance background and now they are heading many large facilities and they are not from they are not doctors. So therefore, it makes again sense to look at finance, costing, and accounting as a bullet for your opportunities. Next, we come to hospitality and facility. The hospital is always supposed to be spick and span and clean, and it is supposed to give the best and superior experience to patients. And therefore, the housekeeping and the facility management is one such area which is again in the domain of hospital administration. I'm sure in the curriculum there is a lot about the facility, there is a lot about plant and machinery is being taught. There is a lot about it taught about laundry management, lot is taught about CSSD management. I'm sure the curriculum across the board is almost same like we have in our country, and then environment and horticulture. But unfortunately, many hospital administration bachelors, they had not been taking interest in these areas, thinking that these are the lower grade work. But no, hospitality, managing the facility is a very challenging task, and he has the largest amount of manpower which he has to deal with, and make sure that the patient's experience is always superior. And therefore, there is a great need of qualified people to take on this part of the hospital and the hospitality function. Next comes quality and accreditation. Many find it as a very safe abode to be seen as experts who have recently qualified hospital administration as bachelors. But I think this is one area which needs a little bit of deeper knowledge and experience. And one has to intern at least for 2 to 3 years with certain experts, go through many inspections and accreditation exercises before they can actually become a quality manager or an advisor in a system. It is a career path. It is definitely good. But only thing is you need to train yourself well in this particular area because the quality is something which is dependent a lot on the process and flow of the clinical activity in the hospital on which you have no control. So therefore, it becomes essential for a non-doctor to become quality champion to actually learn with the help of experts, do a very good internship, and at least have 1 or 2 cycles of being part of an inspection team of accreditation, and then go forward. This is going to be a wonderful career path for hospital administration qualified bachelors, except that because once we have the reforms coming in, once we have private sector coming in, once we have the insurance coming in, they will all demand certain quality benchmarking and standards to make the reimbursements. That is where the incentives start coming for quality. In our country, we have one accreditation board called National Accreditation Board of Hospitals, and they incentivize saying anybody who is qualified, accredited, will get 15% additional bills on all the government-run schemes. So everybody then started enrolling in the accreditation program, and from 27 accreditation hospital way back around 10 years back, now we have around a few thousand. Still, many have not joined it because many find it costly. Many find that, oh, it is going to be getting exposed to more inspections and so on and so forth. But it is something which is a right of the community. It is our right and their right as well to have best quality. And therefore, this becomes an excellent tool for service excellence and reputation management of the hospital. So again, a very good career path here. Human resource management. I know that in the curriculum we have staffing and retention is something which we have to learn. Learning and development role and lots of innovative training, training on biomedical ways, training on soft skills, training on electronic medical record, training on IT-based, protocols, training on, the ALS and BLS standards, and so on and so forth. There is so much to train. There is no hospital which can survive without having at least one training program per day. A good hospital has to keep training somebody or the other throughout. So L&D role has actually enlarged in a big way. Some corporate and larger chains have a chief of learning and development. Many hospitals have got nurse educators, but I think we also need to have operational educators. And therefore, L&D is become a very important part, either as a wholesale human resource department or as part of the human resource department. The hospital administrator also has to design and equip certain clinician working models. I am not aware how the things work in Indonesia, but in many countries, including India, there are many models. One is that the physician is completely on salary and he takes his money, whether his earnings are equivalent to or more or less than whatever he has earned on the books of accounts. That is one way. Second is hybrid model where we give him a retention money, say around say 100 rupees or 100 units, and suppose he exceeds 100, then whatever he has exceeded, that is also divided between the hospital and the clinician in terms of 80% to him, 20% to us. That is called one. Another one, retention come for a fee for service. And third model is fee for service, where a star consultant, he can come, he works, he charges his fee and goes away. So there are many different models which are working. Then there are group working, where three physicians, three clinicians can come together and they divide the equity into three different parts. And accordingly, they almost form a company and we have to give them. They say we will provide care round the clock. Those kind of groups have also started coming in now. And those are some of the working models which one has to decide, and only an administrator can decide based on the market feasibility, based on the potential sources of income. Material management, no great shake, I know, but it is again a very, very busy part of the hospital. Every day, at least there are 10 to 15 purchase requests or 10 to 15 purchase orders would be released from a reasonably busy 100-bedded hospital. Hospitals are hungry for material because every operation theater in a surgery will require at least 15 different types of consumables at any given point of time. And therefore, there are the hospital needs medical consumables, hospital needs non-medical consumables, housekeeping consumables, facility and plant management consumables. So therefore, it becomes a very important to, it's a captivating role. One who has got forecasting, kind of trades, and one who can negotiate with the parties who are suppliers and get good deals for the hospital, save money, and ensure that they develop lots of vendors who can actually, deliver on time and reduce on the inventory holding and inventory cost. All those cases, and a good rapport with the clinicians who will always ask for, things which are not locally available, and therefore you'll have to have some convincing power to see how best you can manage a balanced view on this part. So head of materials is something which is again a very good role for the hospital administration. Having said that, the world doesn't stop here. There are other avenues also. In some of them, I have also worked in my career. Healthcare consulting, this is something which I worked for many years. And here, the medium and the large consulting firms, whether it is Big Four or Boston Consulting or many others which have come, they keep getting mandates from either governments or multilaterals or financial agencies, or there are mergers and acquisitions which are happening where the average non healthcare background consultants in these companies, they require to complement their skills with the help of an expert in the hospital or healthcare wing who can actually guide them through and tell them the nitty-gritties and also take part and may author certain parts of it. So healthcare consulting in service delivery, whether it is public healthcare delivery system or private healthcare delivery system, to an extent, I will even stretch to delivery systems in terms of public messages or preventive healthcare messages like the anti-smoking campaign or anti-drinking campaign or a vaccination drive. All these are delivery mechanisms, and how best they can be achieved is also something which is pardon, and lots of jobs, they come up in these areas. One has to look for them. Pharma and clinical research organizations, the CROs, they look forward to coordinators in hospital where the drug trials are taking place or phase 4 trials are taking place. And again, the hospital administration qualified bachelors, they are very, very handy to these kind of roles where they can pick up and become part of CROs and do a very good coordination between the research wing and the hospital. Public healthcare delivery. As we grow, I am very sure in Indonesia also the public health system will also parallelly get strengthened. And once it gets strengthened, it will require hand-holding support in terms of efficient administration. In India also, they started recognizing and they had district health managers and district program managers. All hospitals at district and sub-district level started having a qualified hospital manager who will actually support the medical superintendent or head of the medical institution in terms of all communications, all material planning, all HR planning, fund management of the government, and so on and so forth. Because a lot of fund will also come in. That fund has to be efficiently absorbed, utilized, and ensure that the delivery goes to the right clientele. And in that case, the clinician alone cannot do it. Therefore, a qualified administrator has become a norm in the entire country. And I'm sure this phenomena is not unique to India. It will definitely take place in other parts of the geographies in the world. World Bank, IFC, the multilateral agencies, they generally also look forward to health and hospital qualified people in developing and near developing or grossly deprived economies where interventions are taking place in certain parts where people can go there and actually help in developing new programs or strengthening the public healthcare mechanism or making sure that the fund which has been allocated to a particular government or a particular country, whether it is being judiciously utilized, the fund audits can be done wherever the hospital has been intervened. So I did had a small stint with World Bank also. So therefore, I found and I had hired many boys and girls who, and some of them are still there for the last 5, 6 years working with them. So these are some of the one of the areas which they. Then core IT and software development. There are many things happening in healthcare sector. Hospitals are likely to get paperless and they want to have newer and newer paging devices and touchless thing, kiosk thing, self-registration. Many programs they keep coming, and therefore the software is also evolving and they require support of an efficient and a qualified administrator who can guide them through the process of developing and innovating the software. Genpact was one such who had observed around 10 of my students in hospital administration a few years back when they were developing one laboratory information system. So these kind of opportunities also come in hospital administration qualified people. Lastly, I go to the last bullet, that is entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship, I think some of the things which I have seen some of my colleagues doing and have been successfully rendering, not only in India, but in the US also and some of the European countries also. So I will enumerate one by one. The training, learning and development agency who actually go and provide on-site training, either virtually or physically. These days, virtually is also there to improve the competencies of the staff which is available. The hospital do not want to have invested in a single L&D resource. So they want an aggregator who can come and do the job. So this is a big demand now, particularly those who are aspiring for quality and accreditation. The second is performance improvement partner. This is a new model coming up where a group of hospital administrators, having seen and worked in hospital environment, seen the market, seen the change, they can actually go and look at their losses, look at their wastages, how they are wasting and where they can control their cost, and then also enhance their market performance in terms of right communication and right channelization. And then once the performance of the hospital, private hospital improves in terms of these financial numbers, a certain percentage of the incremental top line is charged by the improvement partner. These are called PIPs. This is also something which is coming up in a big way. Marketing support, there are agencies in some of the part of the country who take marketing as particularly digital marketing in for hospitals. Many people have started this. That is also an entrepreneur area. Project-based consulting. This is very interesting area where the space planning, facility planning, and designing. The architects do not know what a hospital means. They have never trained for a hospital, so they have to be told that each room, what is required. It's not only question of how to lay out the hospital. Inside the each room, how many points, how many ACs, how many, what kind of ventilation you need, what furniture you need, which what would be the size of furniture, what would be the ease and how the flow will be there. You cannot have a radiology department on top floor and OPD in the ground floor. Those kind of corrections are required. So project consulting is something where people have even collaborated with the architect and then they go jointly to various projects and implement them. So this is one of the entrepreneurial, bullets which I can see. Market research for greenfield, brownfield, new products, pharmaceutical. This is also something which one can look at if one wants to become an entrepreneur. Quality and accreditation consulting, that is also one of the areas where people take a contract in terms of training, documenting, equipping, and finally making sure that the institution passes through the accreditation test by coordinating with all the entire agencies. Ethically, I'm talking about. So that is something which is a very big business, and I think and lots of opportunity lies here in future when the sector reforms are implemented and things take care. Medical tourism, at present, probably not many inbound tourists, but outbound tourists are there. So outbound tourism can be aggregated by a qualified administrator. And in times to come, if people who have opportunity now, they seed up companies for inbound tourism, I'm sure 3 years down the line, there will be a lot of inbound medical tourism to Indonesia in the developed and new hospitals which will be coming up. And I'm very sure this is also one entrepreneurship bullet which we can see. I have also seen some people setting up primary care clinics. They become aggregators, a chain of clinics in a particular district or a division or a province where people put a general practitioner and some basic primary equipment, and the people get the benefit of these services. There is a quality of care, there is appointment booking, there is follow-up call, there is home visit. Everything is under one basket, which is a big, big demand today's time. And with an investor, if somebody can set this up, this is again something which is a gold mine, and not only gold mine, but also something which the community will need and automatically subscribe and contribute to its development. So this is one of the areas. Home healthcare organizers, home health. We have certain companies who have even got into the Bombay Stock Exchange for listing, and they are looking for partners. So they in our country we have a geriatric population as and when it increases, and the children, the next generation going away in different parts of the country, different parts of the world in search of their suitable job and vocation. There is a problem, and therefore home healthcare becomes again a very good entrepreneurship opportunity for hospital administration qualified people who have a detailed knowledge of the sector. So I think that is where it comes to. Thank you very much for your patient listening. I will be very happy if there is any question, and if I am able to answer, I'll definitely make an attempt to do that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to Dr. Sen, who was provide his knowledge and experience. For the next session, we will discuss. I invite further question from the audience. Yes, please, Zahra Arya Effendi. Do you have question?
Thank you. Good afternoon, doctor.
Good
First,
afternoon.
thank you so much for the time. My name is Zahra Fakri Effendi, majoring in hospital administration. So my question is, can you explain why a job in marketing and sales could be a starting point for someone to become a hospital CEO? Maybe that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The starting point, as I said, there are three channels which are often very often they graduate very fast into becoming hospital CEOs. The first is the operations, where people have to start their career as operations executive and become a floor manager and take care of the entire floor operations of the hospital. This is one channel from where one can go and become a general manager operations and then become head of a small facility, and from there they can even grow to a CEO of a large hospital. The second is marketing and communication, because this is one area where the marketing person has to have a detailed knowledge of what his hospital is going to offer and deliver and how it is going to deliver. So this is again one area where I have seen many people graduating to become CEOs. And third is many people who have joined as quality champions in the hospital. They actually become very good in process orientation, and they are able to make accountable principles and processes. And some of them with a knack to lead the team also, if they have some leadership qualities as well, because quality people by nature, they have they develop a trait of being an auditor and every time finding faults and the deviations. But many of them have actually balanced themselves. I know a few who have graduated from quality to the CEOs purely because they were very strong in the process part of it. So these are the three basic jobs where I think people can actually look forward to a brilliant career, in addition to the other channels which I have talked about. I hope I have answered the question.
Okay. Question from the other audience. Maybe Sadila have question. Yes, please, Sadila. Do you want to ask? Hello, Sadila.
She has to unmute probably.
Sadila, yes.
First, I would like to introduce myself. My question is, does an hospital
Sadila,
or
can you repeat your question?
Yeah, I couldn't hear.
okay. My question is, does an hospital
She can write in the chat box or something.
Okay, Sadila, can you write in the chat box?
Sure.
Maybe there's a problem in your mic. So for waiting Sadila writing in the chat box, I want to ask to you, sir.
Please.
To start the discussion, let me tell you about the phenomenon of the majority of Indonesians understanding of the basic definition of praise administration. So Dr. Sen, in Indonesia, most people when they hear the praise of the administration, then what comes to their mind is about writing documents, cost or bill, and all activities related to paper. Therefore, if there is a job that use the term administration, then they think it is all about paperwork. However, this is an incomplete understanding. The problem here is to work as a paper worker in a hospital or even in any organization, they only need to have the qualification of high school graduate. So we as a lecturer who teach in hospital administration study program have our own challenge in educating in the Indonesian public that hospital administrator is not just paper worker, but more than that, as you explained earlier. So Dr. Sen, does India also experience the same thing, or is there something else that is a challenge?
No, we have actually gone through this particular path around 10 years back. Uh, what you have said is absolutely right. People said that administration is something which we can learn or anybody can learn, and there is no requirement for me to have a scientific knowledge. I know my business better than anybody else, and a high school pass can also, do my paperwork. This was the criteria till around, I would say, 2009 or 10. But gradually, as the sector started enlarging and emerging, automatically, as I said, the regulatory pressure points, the quality pressure point, the insurance pressure points, all of them, they will start actually questioning the hospital. And that is the time more qualified people would be needed. The demand would be there because the usually half qualified administrators or whatever you name you call them, they'll not be able to cope up with the requirement. So in India also same thing happened when the regulatory, accreditation, all these pressures started coming. Automatically, in fact, we are overproducing hospital administrators now. But yes, it is a career, and I, at least in my own hospital, I have got around 4 and 5 people with a bachelor's or master's degree in various roles. So it is evolving, and since there has been a liberalization and a new law which has come in August. I am very hopeful. It is almost similar to what health sector reforms India also did few years back. This is going to change.
So, okay, thank you, Doctor. I want to read the question from Sadila. That question is, does in an Indian hospital CEO have to become someone with a medical education background, or in your opinion, who is the ideal person to be a hospital CEO? Is someone with a bachelor's education background in administration ideal to be a hospital CEO?
No, in India, this is not mandatory to be a hospital CEO for a medical graduate. The medical graduate who have chosen to become hospital administrator and the graduates who are not doctors but have got experience in hospital, both are equally weighed for these positions. There is no such thing. We have, I would say, it is 50-50. 50% top hospital CEOs are non-medicals and 50% are medicals.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think time is enough. In conclusion, let us reflect on the valuable insight we have gained through this seminar. So in responsibility, hospital administrator have managing information, technology, human resources, cost, expectation, reputation, and hospital administrator career prospect have a three component. First is core, like operation, marketing, IT, finance, hospitality and facility, quality and accreditation, human relation, material management, and there is non-core career prospect and entrepreneur. So may the knowledge share today serve a catalyst for the positive change in our practice and perceptive. I extend my gratitude to all participants for your active investment, and I hope that we can continue to grow and contribute to the enhancement of our knowledge and skill. Until meet again, may success accompany our endeavors. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Dr. Sajalsen, for coming today. And for the next session, I will go to the MC. Yes, please, Mr. MC.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dr. Sajal. Are you still?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot about future career for my students, for our student here. Thank you, sir. I hope that this may make them curious about hospital administration.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will now log out with your permission, and you can continue with your session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll contact you later, sir.
Oh, definitely. Bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot. Oke, kawan-kawan, boleh kita kembali ke main room? Ke main room ya. to main room, leave breakout room.